How to deal with people who disagree with you. We all face it. Disagreements with people who don't see eye to eye with us. But what if we could turn these moments into opportunities? We're going to talk about how, of course, disagreements are inevitable, especially during times of a lot of political turmoil or turnover in life and relationships, but handling them gracefully is a valuable skill. In this video, we're going to explore practical strategies to deal with people who disagree with you without escalating the conflict. So if that sounds good, give me a thumbs up. Also, if you're not yet a subscriber here, subscribe. It's free, and we drop videos every single week to help you live a happier and more successful life. I'll be right back.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
Disagreements in life are inevitable, but the way that you handle them is what decides whether you are successful or not. So I'm going to give you several ways, several different mindset tweaks that you can adopt into your life to handle these things better, so that instead of being relationship breaking elements, they're relationship building elements. The first element is empathy. You've got to acknowledge that everybody has different experiences, values, and perspectives. Let's say we'll just take recent events as an example. Political perspective. I am friends with people who agree with the way that I expressed myself in the voting booth, and I am friends with people who disagree strongly with the way that I did that. But I'm still friends with these people. Maybe their background, maybe their culture, maybe their personal experiences shape their opinion in a different way than mine do. I know that my background and my culture and my personal experiences shape my opinions in the way that they are. I feel very strongly about my beliefs because of things that I have physically gone through, mentally and emotionally gone through. And so employing empathy is really very important. Empathy doesn't mean that you try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. You can never do that. That is actually your ego getting in the way, pretending that you just know how they're feeling and that you can just suppose what they're going through. Now, empathy is actually approaching the situation with pure curiosity and listening to them so that you can truly connect to the reason or reasons they feel the way that they do. Empathy is a balm for discomfort and arguments. If you can employ empathy, then you definitely will not be breaking down the relationship during a conversation. The second thing that you need to employ is active listening. You've got to focus on truly hearing what the other person is saying without interrupting, and also without bringing your own thoughts into it. Use phrases like, okay, I see where you're coming from, or ask clarifying questions. Tell me more about your view. Tell me more about how you came to this decision or how you came to this opinion. It really, really helps you when you're active listening, that if you have a thought or whatever, if you could jot it down, say, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm just going to jot down this thought that I had because I really want to hear you, but I don't want to be holding on to my thought so that I'm not hearing you. You exhibit to the other person that you're really actively listening. This helps with your significant other. This helps with your kids. This helps with your boss. This helps with your team. This helps with any human who wants to be heard. And here's a tip: every human wants to be heard. So yeah, you definitely use phrases like, tell me more. How did you come there? I'm not really understanding. Another way that you can show the other person that you are actively listening is by saying, okay, don't interrupt them, but during a pause, recount to them what you believe that you heard, and that really communicates to them that you are definitely listening. Active listening helps you stay calm, and it opens the door for constructive dialogue. Staying calm and managing your emotions is absolutely paramount in this situation. Recognize your emotional triggers and take just a moment before responding. Deep breaths really help, not in a huffing kind of a way so the person thinks that you're like at them, but if the other person says something that you know to be false or you believe to be false or that is offensive, pause to breathe before you respond. Reactivity is usually out of a place of lack of control. Responsiveness is out of a place of emotional control. Make sure that your body language is open and non-confrontational. You know, you can't really see much of my body right now, but I'm sitting up straight. I'm talking with my hands. I'm open. I'm not closing myself off with crossed arms or looking down or frowning. You know, all of these things make a difference. Also, tone is very important. So even if you're frustrated, you know, crossing your arms, raising your voice, things like this are going to escalate the situation instead of diffuse the situation. You can, if you really want to with this person who you're disagreeing with, you can find common ground. Even in disagreements, there may be some overlapping views or shared goals. One example of this from recent times that I'd like to point out is the vice presidential debate. There were actually even jokes afterwards that, like, gosh, these guys get along so well. It was really wonderful because people on both sides could see the opposing vice presidential candidate and say, you know, he seemed like a nice guy. He was really respectful. He was kind. You might disagree on the solution, but both of you care about the outcome. So find some common ground. Try to focus on what you both want or what you both agree on rather than only what you disagree about. Say something like, you know, I think both of us are coming from a good place. I think both of us want what's best here. Build rapport through sharing goals and a bedrock of mutual respect. That will help for better problem solving. And then also, I've already said, you know, sometimes you can come in and ask some clarified questions. So instead of debating, don't just be in the conversation so that you can get the next zinger or so that you can get the next point made. You know, really ask those curious questions. You know, what is your main concern here? What led you to believe that? Help me to understand where you're coming from. Employ curiosity and not combativity. Don't be combative. Approach the disagreement as a learning opportunity. It is not a fight. This is somebody you have a relationship with. And so ask yourself, what is your goal for the end of this conversation? Is your goal for the end of this conversation to kill the relationship? Or is your goal for the end of this conversation to understand each other deeper? I would dissuade you from having your goal be, I'm going to change this person's mind. Because the best way to change someone's mind is through example and by allowing evidence to present itself over time. When you stay curious, when you are not combative, that encourages non-defensive conversation. And it can also lead to a change in perspective on both sides. And finally, you've got to know when to agree to disagree. Realize that sometimes the best outcome is simply just hearing each other out and respecting that you differ. It's okay if we don't see things the same way, but I respect your point of view. It's something that you can say. One of my very best friends and I completely are on opposite ends of the political spectrum. Actually, I have 3 really good friends that could take that same description, complete opposite ends of the spectrum. And it's okay that we don't see things the same way, but we could actually, sometimes I've said, why do you see this? And each one has expressed to me, well, because this and this and this. Okay, I don't agree with you, but I respect your point of view. And you know what? We're still friends. So express your willingness to revisit an issue later if you need to come back to something, especially if people are heated or emotional. So that can help to prevent any unnecessary tension. It also helps people get out of their emotional space and into their logical thinking brain so that you don't say things that you don't mean. So just to recap, understand the other person's perspective, stay calm. Find common ground, ask questions, know when to agree to disagree. If you found these things helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content from us. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time we drop a video to help you live a happier and more successful life. Bye.